My daughter's a badass bitch. As you were. Hey, everybody. Love the shirt, Zazel. Nice.
Gotta rock the merch.
Yes, thank you. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Slaughter Daughter House. I am Kelly Slaughter Daughter Remus. This is my dad, Sergeant Slaughter.
How you doing? At ease. Carry on.
And with us today, as always, is Zazel from Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse.
Good morning from Australia. Let me move you. Thank you.
The number one marauder.
Oh, yes. Doing my very best.
He actually has something he needs to tell you.
Uh-oh.
Zazel,
I do.
Yeah.
You've already raised enough funds to come and see me?
I've raised half the amount that I originally put out there. So we're up to $2,000 out of the $4,000. But yeah, halfway there.
Good.
Yeah. But I think we can almost certainly say that that's a successful mission, and there should be no reason why I can't come over there and get a Cobra clutch.
Yes, great. As they say in the slaughterhouse barracks, done deal.
Done deal. Okay.
Well, I'm going to be putting him through boot camp, Dad.
Are you?
I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I am.
I hope he's getting in shape.
He's going to be doing some
Nowhere near it. I'm going to be in pain. Was that what I was supposed to be bringing up, Kelly? Because if it's not that, I'm not sure what I'm unprepared. Otherwise,
I did want to know that, but I also wanted, you were supposed to tell him that he's your.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to come on too strong, but I was on a live stream yesterday on another channel called Jay Bartlett, hanging out with Jay Bartlett and Articulated Chad. And I sort of just dropped that, we're best friends, you and I wanted to just get clarification that we were best friends, because I was 95% certain we were best friends. But if I could just hear it from the side, just to show everybody that it's
99.9%.
But I'll take it. Way to call me out, Kelly. I'm going to take it. Thanks, Sarge. I knew it was true. Should we quickly say hi to people in the chat?
Yes, please.
All right. So Peppermint Oil Capsule says, lots of love. Sorry we can't make it to this one, but the Space Force crew must get some sleep sometime. We'll watch tomorrow. Have a great show. So thanks to Peppermint Oil Capsule for that. I do want to give a quick shout out before we go any further to Mark Potter. I did ask him if he could join us today. He can't make it, unfortunately, but Mark recently had a birthday. So if we could give him a birthday shout out, I think he'll love that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mark Potter, my number one renegade. You scum, you slime, you maggot. Happy birthday to you.
Brilliant.
I'm available all week.
Excellent. I couldn't have asked for anything better for good old Mark Potter, who on Twitter now goes by the handle of Sergeant Slammer.
Slammer, I saw.
Yes.
I just answered his notification yesterday. I got a little behind. I was on special assignment and was away from my telephone, so I got behind a little bit there. Talking about behind, I thought your pink surprise was going to be to tell me that you're finally out of the closet. No, just.
Well, right, I'm unavailable, Sarge, but I appreciate the offer. Keep fingers crossed, though. Keep your fingers crossed. You never know.
We have a special closet at the slaughterhouse.
Okay. Okay. Moving on. Gaz is in the chat. Welcome, Gaz. We've also got Classified also here. Double the fun because we're actually going to be jumping over to my channel after this one to talk some G.I. Joe. This is another double feature. I hope you're aware of that, Sergeant. We weren't just surprising you with that.
Yeah, I was aware.
So Classified is unwell at the moment. So if you could give her an at-ease disease, that might help her to unease her disease.
At-ease disease. I've been expecting you.
Nailed it.
It's
almost like you
gave Falcon, Lieutenant Falcon, when he was thrown out of the aircraft and ended up at the slaughterhouse.
I think that's how I'll be showing up at the slaughterhouse too. When I get there, I'll just jump out of a helicopter.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
TJC is here.
That, by the way.
I'm down. I'm ready. Whatever it takes. I will do anything.
Whatever you need. We've got it.
I've got his whole trip planned already.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait. People are both feeling sorry for me and also excited for me. Sorry for me because I know what kind of extreme workouts you do, Kelly. It's scary.
Well, you'll be a good how do they say it? Audience.
Right.
You'll be cheering her on, I'm sure.
I'll be dragged along with Kelly is that what I imagine is going to happen.
I don't think she can't be that mean.
Well, I even looked to see if there were any Spartan races going on around the time he was coming.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there were not any in the near vicinity where we could drive to. Now, there are some going on. We'll just have to get out.
It's not in the. Well, maybe Sarge can order me to do a couple of push-ups.
Yeah.
We'll say hi to TJC.
You can do them at your leisure.
Oh, thanks, mate. I knew we were best friends.
This is talking about Zazel here.
This is why we're best friends.
Friend.
Yeah, my best 99.9% friend. So,
just friend. Now I've gone down a level. Just a friend. Moving on. Pericles. Dragon Balls is here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How's everybody
Dragon
doing?
Ball Z, I think is how you pronounce that. Just saying.
Thanks.
Oh.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Dale is here.
Hey, Dale.
Sorry? Hey, Dale. It seems so good to be able to read these finally because I'm always on a little compact phone and I can't read what it says. But this is now we got an iPad.
We have an iPad.
Right.
iPad.
Payne's Toy Samples. Hello.
Hi there. Hey, James.
Handsome man, James Ratface.
Hey. Ratface 44. Let's tag team on YouTube.
That's right. You want to tag me in?
There you go.
This.
They do.
Right.
Smack damn.
Oh, okay.
All right. I think we're caught up on everybody. If I missed someone, just
take you places.
Thanks, Dad.
All right.
Mention in the chat if I've missed anyone there. All right. What's on the agenda today, kids?
Hey, everybody. So I thought it would be really cool to talk about hello, Facebook user, got my dad to want to be a wrestler, and which is Jumpin' Joe Scarpello.
Jumpin' Joe Scarpello.
Jumpin' Joe. And he actually told the story during you were being honored with an award in Vegas for the Cauliflower Alley Club.
I was wondering where you heard that story.
Yeah. You told the story.
Thinking about it.
You said that you were born to be a wrestler. And then you told the story. So I thought that it would be a good idea, and you mentioned it on Twitter, that you tell everyone, not just those that were in attendance at the Cauliflower Alley Club.
To the millions.
To the millions that are watching right now.
I gave well, how much time do we have?
Well, we haven't.
We got time.
This is a long story.
Well, let's maybe shorten it.
We'll try to shorten it. See what we can do. I don't want to keep you from hearing the real story. Oh, anyway.
The Cliff Notes version.
after my to move it, we move off the farm and we go up to Minneapolis, and we have a 1-bedroom apartment my parents are renting from a lady that lives upstairs, Mrs. Johnson. Anyway, they only had 1 bedroom and 2 children, my mom and dad. So what they would do is put us to bed in their bed. And then when we would fall asleep, my sister and I, for some odd reason, would wake up on the fold-out couch out in the living room. I could never figure that out. How I
start in one bed
elevated
and end up in another.
through the room and ended up on the other in the other bed. But anyway, that's how small of a place it was. But anyway, so one night I'm put to bed, and I'm kind of restless and not really tired, and I hear this commotion going on. So I go out of the bed, my sister's sleeping, and I open up the door, and I hear this commotion, and I said, I wonder if my dad's in trouble or something. I was scared, So I tiptoe out, and I'm doing a crawl out to the living room where I wake up. So I was a little bit worried, what's going on where I wake up. So I look at the back of these heads. One of them was my dad, one's an uncle, and one's a friend of my dad's and another uncle. And they're yelling at the television. And I hear my dad go, "Vernon, that referee is blind. I'm telling you, he's blind." And what I stumbled upon was they were watching professional wrestling on television. And it was black and white. And it was just a kind of a scary situation. So I wasn't sure what was going on. So I kind of watched it. I guess I got out there a little late because I only had like 1 match on. And then okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I headed back into the bedroom, and that's when I found out that I was being carried from my bedroom to where I woke up in the morning because I was still asleep.
Is this roughly the age you were?
Look at that. I must have been a good boy.
Santa's rolling his eyes at what you're asking for.
I was younger than this. I was a little younger than this. I'm thinking I'm about maybe 4 there. 4, possibly 5, maybe. Maybe
I've dropped this image too early, but yeah,
I'm only about 3 years old when this is happening in the house with the wrestling going on. So anyway, next Saturday comes along, and same routine, go to bed, my mom and dad's bed, my sister. And so I pretended to sleep, and I snuck out, and I got to watch the wrestling from the beginning. And so I had this little place underneath one of the coffee tables, and I got under there and I watched the whole show. And I wasn't sure when it was over, so I had to run like heck to get back before my dad would catch me. But anyway, about the 4th time, I got caught. And my dad said, "Bobby, what are you doing?" And I said, I don't know. I was kind of a shy kid anyway. And my dad was a very strict father. And I said, I don't know. I just happened to stumble out here. I didn't say it like that anyway. So I kind of turned around and put my hands behind my back, like, "You're going to handcuff me or, arrest me." So anyway, he said, "Were you wanting to watch the wrestling?" And I said, Yeah. And he said, "Well, yeah, you can watch the wrestling." So next Saturday, I didn't have to go be put to bed. I was right there on my dad's lap. I was sitting on his lap, and I watched the whole show, and I watched my uncles and my dad react to it. And for some reason, I just fell in love with it because of all the interaction, I guess, and the yelling at the TV and whatever my uncles and dad were doing. So down the road, I have to be about maybe 6, 7 years old. My dad and my mother and my sister and I go to the airport in Minneapolis. And back then you could, before 9/11 and everything, there was actually peace at one time. And you could get on an airplane and walk your party or your friend or your lover
To the gate.
right to the gate
Yep.
and kiss each other. And off they went on
Like in the movies.
in the movie.
Right. Yeah.
Kinda
We had
that.
that for a while here. Yeah.
Kind of like that. And so anyway, my aunt was coming in, and she was coming in from like Missouri or something like that. And so we're waiting, and her plane's a little delayed, and another plane lands from Omaha, Nebraska. And I'm just kind of sitting there, not knowing what I've got myself into. You know, I'm at this huge place with airplanes, and not really. My parents never even went to an airport, so it's hard for them to explain to me where I'm at. So
Yeah.
anyway, all of a sudden, my dad says, "Bobby, look, there's Jumping Joe Scarpello." And I went, "Oh yeah, that's him. That's him." And I'm telling you, Zazel, he looked like a movie star. He was all tan, had this beautiful suit on, dressed. I mean, he was an Adonis-looking guy, just a huge, massive man. And my dad says, "You want to go meet Jumping Joe Scarpello?" And I went, "No." "No, I don't." And he says, "Yeah, he's a professional wrestler. Remember we saw him on TV?" I said, "Uh-huh." He said, "Come on, let's go meet him." I said, "No," because this guy looked.
You didn't want him to do the airplane move on you.
God,
You were already at the airport.
He used that airplane spin. Yeah, that was his finishing move, like the slaughter cannon and the
Cobra
slaughter
Clutch.
cannon, and then the Cobra Clutch. He used the airplane spin, and the guys would he let him up, and they'd like walk around the ring, and I think he'd hit him with a drop kick. Went 1, 2, 3. He always was the victor, and he was just like a hero to me. He was, and I just liked his wrestling because he was the ultimate good guy. And so my dad walks me over and says, "Hey, Joe." And Joe turns around, and he liked being recognized because he should have been recognized, but he turned the heads when we walked. And he goes, "Yes." He said, "Hi, my name's Rudy Remus, and my son Bobby wanted to meet you." And I'm like, "What's he telling that for? I don't want to meet him." So he kind of like pushes me toward Joe, and Joe puts his hand out, shakes my hand, and starts talking to me. And he says, "Well, hey, what's your name?" And I said, "Bobby." And he is, "Oh, hey, Bobby, why don't you grab my bag here and walk me out to the car?" And I said, "Really? Yeah, great." So I take this bag, 50 pounds. I'm like, Jesus, what did my dad get me into here?
Put it to work.
So we walked all the way out to the arrival, and back then, of course, Minneapolis Airport wasn't what it is today. And you walk right out and put your car can pull up and get your bag and pick up your passenger. And this beautiful, beautiful white Cadillac with the big fins on the back. I'm guessing maybe a 56, 57 Cadillac. It was gorgeous. I mean,
Nice.
It was just spit polished. And this beautiful woman gets out, apparently his wife, and greets him, and opens up the trunk. They didn't have, automatic trunk openers. She gets the keys out and opens up the trunk. And I finally lift the bag. I put it in the trunk. And I'm like, I'm blowing up. And so Joe goes, well, thank you, Bobby. He said, what are you going to be when you grow up? And I said, a cowboy. and it's really got to be cross-examined by Santa Claus or something, He said, no, I don't think so. Football player? Football? No, I don't think you're going to be a football player. A fireman? I'm trying to figure out what this guy wants to hear. I don't know what he wants to hear. I'm trying to figure all these things. So finally get to the policeman and finally goes, no, you know what, Bobby? I think someday you're going to be a professional wrestler. And I said, I am? He goes, yes, you are. I know it. I can just tell that you're going to be a professional wrestler. I said, oh, okay. So my dad grabs me and thanks, Joe. And, hear that, Bobby? You're going to be a professional wrestler someday. Okay. Then I got to thinking, geez, and have to wrestle that guy? Are you kidding? He'd kill me. Yeah. So anyway, life goes on. And I happen to be in the right place at the right time, or I might have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not quite sure. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But a friend of mine and I were huge wrestling fans, and we would go to the Minneapolis Auditorium and watch matches when they were in town. And he was a sports writer, and he was a great athlete. We played a lot of sports together out of the high school area. And so I'm working with my father in a roofing business. And he calls me up and says, hey, Bob, I got an assignment. I think you're really going to really enjoy it if you want to go along. And I said, what is it? He says, I got to do a story on a pro wrestling training camp. I said, a what? A pro wrestling training camp? I said, yeah. I said, wow, that'd be kind of cool. He said, can you go? I said, well, when is it? He said, tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon at like 3:00. And I said, oh, geez, I'm working with my dad, but let me see. So I called my dad. How late do you think I'll be working tomorrow? Oh, geez, I don't know. What? Why? And I said, well, I got a chance to go see this pro wrestling training camp with Bill. And he said, well, what time is it? I said, he said something like 2-3 o'clock. He says, oh, yeah. Once we get to the time to go, just go. We'll just do a small job, and hell, we might not even be on the roof. You'll be at home. I said, okay. So, of course, my father, get right down to the, like I am, the time, not always looking at the
Punctual, you're not very punctual.
No.
You were 6 minutes late.
See why I have no watch. Anyway, so
that was a Hervin. Can you bring that comment back up?
This
please?
one?
Yeah.
William
Hervin.
All right. How are you? My condolences to your grandfather and my uncle. We lost Andy.
Oh.
Andy passed away on Thursday.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Yes, he was like a hero to me, just like Joe Scarpello. Andy was in the Korea War, and he stepped on a landmine and blew off his leg, one of his legs, lost one of his eyes, and lost some important places in his body, but he still fathered 5 children and he was a high school teacher, history, and I think he was a football coach or some type of high school coach, basketball maybe. And he golfed with us. He golfed with us till he was about 88 years old. And one time because every time I played golf with him, he would bend over to get his ball out of the hole, but he had a prosthesis on. And so it was difficult for him, but he mastered it. Yep. And so one day I'm at a golf store and I see this steel you put on the end of your putter and you put it in the hole and it pops your ball on there and you take it. I said, Uncle Andy, you got the perfect present for Uncle Andy. So I can't wait till our next golfing outing. And I get there and I say, Andy, I got something for you. I got something for you. What is it, Bobby? What is it? This goes on the end of your putter. And when you make the putt, you put it in there and it takes your ball out. He said, get that thing the hell away from me. I'm not going to use that to get my ball out of the wall. What's wrong with you?
Oh, man.
Sorry, Andy. Sorry. But anyway, that's the kind of guy Andy was. He was my hero. My hero.
Yes. So now, was it Andy also was missing a hand?
No.
No, that was Arden.
It was Arden. That was another side of the family we don't talk too much about.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We won't talk.
Okay. Moving on.
That's the you part of the family relationship.
Okay.
You don't want to find them on your family tree. Whatever you do. Sorry. Well, they know all that.
Hey, this is your show. You can say whatever you like.
That's the way they treated Rudy, my father.
Yes.
They deserved more than that.
Right.
I agree. I was easy on them.
Anyway, so Jumpin' Joe Scarpello, you're going to go with your friend to do a
training camp. I rush home, shower up, shave, and put the cologne on. And, so I meet Bill at the meeting spot. And I said, where are we going? And he goes, out to Eden Prairie. I said, well, that's where I live. He goes, yeah. I said, there's no training camps out there. I'm picturing, this beautiful gymnasium or type of workout place. And he said, no, it's out. I got the address. So we drive. I said, that's by Riley Lake, whatever. There's no gyms out there. That's country. It's all farms, So we get the address. We pull in. There's this old barn. And a bunch of cars outside of it. And another couple of trucks with film crews and all that kind of stuff. So off we go into the barn, and there's stacks of hay, and there's chickens and cows and ducks and all kinds. It's in a barn. And I look, and there's a wrestling ring way on the other end over there with a little light bulb hanging down, and these guys are like working out, and they're just like
that's a sound clip for. I'll isolate that one clip and have that as a Kelly clip with no context.
No, we are live, Dad.
Oh,
we're live.
Okay, all right. All
right. So to reiterate, there was a wrestling ring in a barn, and the barn was still a barn. So it wasn't like they were using the barn as a wrestling ring. They were just adding the wrestling ring to an already established barn that already had the farm animal.
The ring. He put the ring up there, and I noticed that it wasn't like a normal ring. It had 4 ropes, but I didn't know why. I thought, well, maybe it kept the guys from falling out on the floor or whatever. Because the only wrestling I ever did was on a mat, and it was that far off the ground. So you had to have ropes. But anyway, so I'm watching this, and as I'm watching it, and I see the crews, and they're filming everything. And my friend Bill starts jotting stuff down. And I walk over and I go, son of a gun, there's 3, 4, 5 guys in that ring that I wrestled in high school or played sports against in high school. And I said, man, I beat every one of them. I beat them all. Maybe I'm on the wrong road here. Maybe I should think about this. If those guys can do that, I sure as hell can do that. I mean, I didn't know much about it. So as I'm, thinking this over, I hear, hey, yeah, all right. My name's Vern Gagne, and this is Billy Robinson, British Empire heavyweight champion, and we are here to train these gentlemen who would like to be professional wrestlers. And we're going to show you some of this. So they started. Now, these guys weren't even in the ring. They hadn't gotten in the ring. They were, I don't know, I guess I found out later that they were there for like 2 hours before we got there, just working out.
Right.
They hadn't even climbed in the ring yet. So he orders them to get into the ring, and they start throwing each other across the ring and into the ropes and into the turnbuckles and all this noise and wham and bam and film crews going. The people are writing stuff down. My friend's writing things down. And all of a sudden the action stops. I guess Vern wanted to give the guys a little break. And he goes, well, what we need to continue is a volunteer. A volunteer to get into the ring so that we can demonstrate. So I'm looking around. I'm the only one there. I kind of started this, I think before the movie even came out. I said, you talking to me? Are you talking to me? They're from a famous movie. And this happened way before that movie was even thought about being written. So I think I got to give a little credit here.
You did it before. I think it was Taxi Driver. Was
You
the
talked
movie?
to me.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I'm talking to you. Come on in here. And I looked and I said, oh, man, boy, I wish Dad was here. Push him in there, So I take off I don't even take off my sports coat to start with. I get in. And Vern Gagne says, well, what's your name, Bill? Yeah, Bill. This is what we call a face lock, from being standing position. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's talking all the while I'm being squashed here.
Yeah.
And he said, how's that feel? How's that feel? I'm like, yeah, good. That's good. Yeah. And he said, now that is what they call a professional face lock. And how does it feel? And he kind of cinches up on us. I said, yeah, okay, yeah. And he said, now this is an amateur face lock. And he trips me and falls on top of me. And all of his weight is on the top of my back. And he's like squashing me down like a pretzel. And I can't breathe. I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm like whacking and trying to yell. And finally, he lets go. And he walks over to the guys that are doing the show. Now that's an amateur move, and that's a professional move I just showed you guys. And I'm like, yeah. So he comes over and kind of helps me up. And he said, now I'm going to show you another. So after, I'll speed it up. three, four of these where I'm suffocating or, about ready to die. I'm seeing, the the light, see the light. And he finally says, all right, okay. And so I roll out of the ring. And he goes, what's going on with you? I said, I'm going to do that like you're fine. Yeah. He said, what, too tough for you?
Oh.
No, I'm not too tough for me. He said, well, why are you leaving? I said, well, I figured I'd probably be a lot better off if I got out of there since I can't protect myself. And I'm letting you take advantage of me. And he went, what did you just say?
Uh-oh.
I said, I'm letting you take advantage of me. He says, take advantage of you. Get back in here. Get back in. You think you can do any better if we let you
Participate?
And I said, better than I was doing. And he said, well, come on in. So I walked into the middle of the ring, and now I'm finally taking my sports bra off.
Oh, he's getting serious
I'm
now.
here for battle now. I'm here for battle. I'm going to give him a little more resistance this time. So anyway, God strikes me. There is a God, because he said, get down on all fours. And he yells out the name, Rick. Hey, Rick, get on him and see what he's got. And I went, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Rick, I can beat him like that. I've already done it several times. And whether it was on a wrestling mat, in a football field, in a back alley, or whatever, I always got the best of Rick. Anyway, so Rick yells out, oh, I got a bad shoulder. Shoulder kind of bothered me a little bit. Goes,
How convenient.
wait a minute. Don't give me that. I'm not going to use the profanity. He said, get on him. So here comes Rick, and Rick whispers in my ear, take it easy on me, Bob. Take it easy on me. And I said to myself, screw you. That's a nice way of putting it. That's what I said. So Vern Gagne goes, wrestle. And wham. That was it.
Nice.
And now the Remo chest comes flying out.
You redeemed yourself.
I redeemed myself. Good. So
So Joe Scarpello was watching. No. Okay.
We might not have time for Joe.
We don't have time for Joe.
Back around.
Joe's the story.
Anyway,
Part two. We need a part two.
We might have to continue this on your show. And,
We got 15 minutes, Dad, and we still got to do the Diet Coke commercial.
All right. Well, we can always do it another time.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, are you enjoying this?
Yes.
It's a good story.
I've heard it.
Kelly, we're supposed to be recording these for prosperity. We've got people in the chat saying we need a book, we need an audio tape. This is where we're finding it. And you're sitting there going, I've heard this story, Dad. Move it along.
So anyway, Vern says, Ken, you get on him. And Ken was a Olympic weightlifter, won a gold, silver medal, and he was huge. And I went, holy!
People are gonna fact check you.
So I didn't.
Don't fact check.
I didn't know anything about. I heard the name, but I didn't come across him before. So I says, boy, they brought on the big one. So I said, all I could do. So Vern goes wrestle, and I escaped from Ken. And I figured, well, that's it. Deal's over. I can get the hell out of here. So I go to turn to leave. And Vern yells up at Billy Robinson, the British Empire heavyweight champion, who has one eye good and one blind eye. So, and he's got pitch black hair that's kind of greased back and watered back. And he's on the top of the turnbuckle. I know who Billy Robinson is. He's a bad mother. So I'm looking at that, and he jumps down and walks around me, and he says, "Well, I tell you, Vern." He had this big, huge jaw.
Jaw? Really?
Bigger than yours?
Yours?
Oh, thicker.
Oh, wow.
Walked around me a couple of times, and he gets in my ear, and he goes, "I'll tell you what, Vern, I think he's a effing C." Now,
See you next Tuesday.
what did he do? Say? What about me? and so he walks around and calls me every possible word that's vulgar in my ear, in my face, and "Get down on all fours, you dude gets me." Okay. So I get down, and as I get down on my all fours for the wrestling position, he drops the shin of his leg on the back of my ankle, tries to break my foot for me or break my ankle or whatever he was trying to accomplish. And I went berserk.
Yeah.
I felt this pain. And I thought, how is my father going to roof tomorrow when I am in a cast and I can't get up on the roof to help him? You know, that came through my mind. And I went, "You mother." And I turned around and I leg dived that son of a bitch, and we started going. I mean, then the wrestling quit, and it was bam, bam, elbow to the mouth, you know. So
Yeah.
finally,
Street fighting.
yeah.
Yeah. There was
And
no
so-
wrestling.
No.
It was street fighting.
There was no referee until Vern jumped in there, because I was just about to put the wizard on.
Ooh.
So what's
Billy,
the wizard?
Billy
Yeah,
Roberts.
what's the wizard?
It's a amateur wrestling move. You know, not too many.
Can you show us when Zazel's here on Zazel?
Yeah. There's also, I tried to get into the guillotine, but I couldn't maneuver it. But because everybody's like grabbing me and grabbing Bill, and his name was Billy too. And of course, my friend Bill was in there trying to break us up, and finally they break us up, and I'm bleeding from my mouth and my nose, my ear, and I'm trying to pull off his good ear. I was trying to pull his good eyeball out so he couldn't see me, you know, and I thought I have a better chance. And so it was just wham, bam, mud, blood, and the beer, you know, kind of one of those situations. So
This is where I get my chutzpah from.
They pull me out of the ring and take me out of the barn. And all the wrestlers stay with Billy, but all the crew goes with me and my friend Billy Tweet, with Vern, making sure I get the hell out.
Right.
Because you're messing with his guys.
Yeah, well, plus I didn't sign anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to sign things back then?
No,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I could have, you know.
Well,
Anyway,
suing, I feel like, wasn't even a thing back then.
No,
There weren't enough
I
lawyers.
Never even thought about that.
I thought that was
So-
always a thing in America. What are you talking about?
So he goes to me.
Yeah.
He said, "Damn, kid, where'd you learn to fight like that?" And I said, "I don't know. That guy pissed me off." I said, "I watched you wrestle. I watched wrestling all my life. But whatever he was trying to do to me, I said, it pissed me off. Because
He was trying
I
to
got
hurt
to make
you.
a living." He
Right.
says, "Oh, what's your name?" And I said, "Bob." And he goes, "Oh, okay, Bob. Well, what do you do for a living?" And I said, "I'm a roofer." "A roofer? Like roofing? Like on a roof?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What's your last name?" I said, "Remus." He goes, "Wait a minute. Are you Rudy Remus's son? Bob Remus? You're Bob Remus?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Damn, your dad put the roof on my house." I said, I know. I helped them put the roof on your house. I was there. Yeah. I was carrying those bundles up on the ladder, you know. And it was a big damn house. It was a huge house. And so he said, well, damn, tell your father I said hello. I love your dad. Greatest guy in the world. I said, well, thank you. He said, you ever thought about being a wrestler? And I said, no, not till just now. Not till just now. And he said, well, God, if you're thinking about doing it, I can't have you start now. These guys are like 8-10 weeks ahead of you. Although you could probably jump in there, but I don't think it's fair to you to do that to you. So
right.
So anyway, he said, but if you think you want to do a pro wrestling training camp, I'm going to have one next year when Chris Taylor gets out of the Olympics. I said, okay, all right, sounds good to me. This was like 71, 72, I guess. 72 because the Olympics were 72, yeah. And so anyway, we got to, we left. I go home. I tell my dad. He says, hey, I call him. How'd it go? Yeah, it went good. Well, was it fun? I said, well, yeah, kind of fun. And I told him what happened. He says, well, damn, you should think about doing that. And he says, I don't want you to be a roofer all the rest of your life. I'd rather you do something else. I said, oh, well, maybe I'll think about it. So that's the direction I went. And I went to the training camp the next season when Chris Taylor got done with
it. I just want to say that I think it's brilliant that your father was all in on you pursuing this, because a lot of other fathers you hear stories where it's like they wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, and not really letting you live your dream. But you wanted to do it. Your dad was like, "Yep, love it." You know, you had your childhood hero moment. And the fact that he was fully supportive of
Right.
this is, you don't hear a lot of those stories. So I couldn't pass that up without mentioning it. That
Right.
Shout out to Papa Remus.
Right.
Now, but
The continuation.
Well, no, but you were also married at the time.
Yes.
To my mother.
Yeah.
And how did she feel about this whole thing?
Well,
that's a good point.
Friday nights were a big Saturday, Saturday were big card playing nights, poker. And so we'd always have poker games on a Friday or Saturday, either at our house or go to somebody else's house. And so we were in this game and we decided to take a break because Kelly's mother, Diane, and I never once put each other over. Especially
now they don't.
Especially in a poker game. I always told her, you're just damn lucky we don't play strip poker because I'd beat the pants off. and so it was always a challenge. She never wanted to let me go home with more money than she did wherever, or go to bed with more money than I had. So anyway, so we take this break. And our friends, the Patromets, sitting at the table, you always had some cold cuts and things. And okay, so what's going on these days, Bob? We hadn't seen you in like a couple of weeks. I said, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. And Diane, Kelly's mom, looked up and I started listening. And I started telling them about what happened. And
she wasn't listening before.
She wasn't listening. No. Yeah. So she's listening to all this now. And I'm thinking, hey, she's going to love this, because she's always telling me, you bring tar home on your clothes, it gets all over my clothes, and it ruined my clothes. And I said, I'm going to really pop this on her about to be a professional wrestler, and she doesn't have to worry about any more tar ruining her clothes. And so finally I said, they said, "You're really going to do it?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. I don't know when yet because they haven't decided when the camp is." And all of a sudden I hear Diane say, "You're going to be a what?" And she started to like, shuffle the cards.
Aggressively shuffle.
Shuffle them harder and harder. I'm a professional wrestler. And she said, "The hell you are." And I said, "The hell I'm not."
Uh-oh.
The hell you are. I said, "The hell I'm not." And anyway, here I am. And
See how there's just enough dysfunction that made me funny.
Yeah. It was entertaining for us. Your childhood trauma is entertaining.
that inspired me more than anything ever could inspire me. Not any pep talk.
Yeah.
To play football or was on a playing court of any sport in my high school, when that national anthem played, and then either way, the school song first or second, that pumped me up. I'm telling you, smoke was coming out of my mouth and spit. And anyway, that's what pumped me up. And when I said, "The hell I'm not," that meant I better. if I don't do this, no matter how hard it gets, and I'm telling you, Zazel, when I went through I went through the training camp. I went through the training camp, and it was the hardest thing I had ever done in my life. And the first day, Chris Taylor didn't show up. So there's like 34. No, there's only 3 of us there. Vern Gagne, Billy Robinson, and 2 or 3 other wrestling.
Billy Robinson's the guy with the job,
the one that tried
to break your ankle.
All right, yeah.
So, and we right away, well, Chris isn't going to be here, so let's get started. And this is what we call a free squat. Free squat. Well, I did my homework because I used to go out and watch these guys train when Vern and Billy weren't there. So everything they did. So, man, I started working out way before I even got the call to go through the camp. So I'm in damn good shape because I want to not only prove to my wife that I can do this, but that son of a bitch over there who almost broke my leg, I'm going to prove it to him too.
Now, Dad, who else was in the training camp with you that we may know that became a wrestling star also?
There was a referee by the name of Bill Crouch. Oddly enough, one of my former friends, not with us anymore. His name was Bill Crouch, but this was a different Bill Crouch.
A different Bill Crouch who reached out to me. I told you that. And he said, "Tell your dad we knew each other. I was Bill Crouch." And I was like, "Dad, Bill Crouch just came back from the dead and messaging me."
That's
why he said he was. He was Bill Crouch.
Yeah. So it was this referee who was already in the business, and his name was Bill Crouch, and then Paul Pershman, who was Buddy Rose in the professional wrestling, and
there's a picture of
Chris
you
Taylor.
wrestling him.
Chris Taylor, and we were the 3 that went basically all the way to the end. There was like probably 60 that came through, but only 3 of us made it. Bill Crouch, the referee, didn't make it, but he ended up in a career somewhere else. He didn't make it in the AWA, but he went
to a different
territory.
And, okay.
Anyway, so we are doing this training every day, and I'm still working. I'm roofing every day. I leave at 2:00 every day and go right to the training camp, go through all that, get done, go back home, get up at 0400, go to the roof all morning into the afternoon. I did this 5 days a week. I had Saturday off sometimes. Sometimes they made us train. But we're in our like 6th week, and Vern walks in and says, guys, little problem. Billy and I just got called to go to Japan for 4 weeks. So, but we're going to keep the training camp going, but we're going to bring 2 other guys in to help train you guys. And Billy has got a sheet of everything that you do. Just give it. We'll just give it to the trainers, and they'll put you through it. Okay. All right. So off they go. And first day it's so cold out now in Minnesota that they move us indoors to a Minneapolis armory. And we have to take the ring down in the barn and haul it to the armory. So we get the ring all up, and pretty soon here comes a wrestler by the name of Jack Pesic. I remember watching him, but he was kind of on his maybe 5 years to go in the business. He still can do it, but you wouldn't pay top dollar to see him in a main event because he's only so much he can do. So, but his nickname was Whiskey Jack. I heard this later because I found out when he talked to you, he got like right to your face.
All right.
Hey, Bob, what's going on? And like me, saliva flying out of his mouth.
Fun.
So but he was the nicest, friendliest guy. And guys, that's another story. Anyway, so
don't have time for that story, Dad.
So we're working out. He said, where's the sheet that Billy Robinson left to see what all we're supposed to do? Oh, it's right here. I'm like the stooge. I got it. And so I give it to Jack, and he's got a pencil behind his ear. He goes, 500 free squats. What are those? And we show him like that. He said
500 squats.
Yeah. He said 500, just like you did. We said, no, we do 50 at a time, and then we stop, and then we do 50 more. He said, oh, okay. So he starts doing them with us. As we get to 50, we don't stop. We do other stuff that we've been taught to do. You never stand still. You can't catch your breath. You can't. If you're in a wrestling match and you're out of air, you're no good to anybody. So Jack's like looking at us like, what the hell he's doing? And all of a sudden now we're going off for another 50. And he's like, oh, no. He's like 20 behind before he gets in. And we get done and we start doing this, and he shut his hands on it, and he's breathing kind of heavy. He grabs the list, and he goes, hold it, guys, hold it. I think this was a typographical error. He takes the pencil and scratches off one of the zero. So instead of doing 50, we just around 500. We just do 50. Same thing with what's this? 200 sit-ups. Another typographical error. By the time, now we're living the life of Riley here. Wow. Next day.
Uh-oh.
He says another gentleman will be joining me. Might not be as nice as me. So I just want you to do it. But come over here, Bob. I want to try something. Lock up. I lock up with him. Y'all watch this now. But Bill, you be the referee. Since you're a referee, you be the referee. Lock up. We're walking around the ring. He says, top wrist lock. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, top wrist lock. Okay. And finally he stops. He said, top wrist lock. And I said, yeah, I heard you. He said, put me in a top wrist. I said, oh. So I did what I was practiced and told how to do it, top wrist lock. So now he's going around the ring, tapping my side, and Bill, Bob's got a hold of me pretty good there. He's selling it. And I'm like, what is this guy doing? You know, I didn't know what the hell he's doing. And all of a sudden, he falls down on the mat. And I'm standing, I got his arm, and I'm looking at him. I'm waiting for him to say top wrist lock again or something. And he looks up at the referee, Bill Crouch, and he goes, Bill, did you not see what Bob just did? And I'm like, and he says, no, I didn't see it. He pulled my hair.
Oh.
And I'm like, what's he talking? How can I pull his hair off my head? And so Bill says to me, because he's a professional wrestler, he said, Bob, did you pull Jack's hair? And I said, Bill, honest to God, we've been working out for a little bit here. On my mother's life, I did not touch that guy's hair. And Bill goes, okay. He said he didn't pull your hair. So Jack swanders up, hooks up with me again. Let's try that again.
And it's like, you idiot.
So we waltz around. Top wrist lock. I said, top wrist. I didn't wait. I put the top wrist lock on him again. And he's doing the same pattern, and he's walking around the ring. And all of a sudden, down he goes again. He hits the mat, and he says, Bill, now don't tell me you didn't see it happen that time. And Bill said, what? Bob Remus pulled my hair. And I said to myself, oh, this guy's got something wrong with him. How could I have done it? Bill walks over. Bob, he said you pulled his hair. Did you or did you not? I did not. I swear I didn't touch his hair. And he's, sorry, Jack. Bob said he didn't do it, and I didn't see it. So, Jack gets up again and locks up. And he said, "You're not quite kidding it, but we're gonna get it." Locked up. We go to same thing. Top wrist. I didn't even wait. He didn't have to call it. I put it on him, and he goes, good. And he taps me, boom, and as it goes to fall, I let him go. And I said to Bill, see, that son of a bitch has been falling on his own. And Jack rolls up, and he says, we got some work to do. Not quite getting it. I said, okay. So we go.
So Jumpin' Joe.
We go home. Next day, as we were warned, this other guy comes. And we've been working out for a couple hours already. And here comes this guy. And I look and I went, son of a bitch, that looks like Joe Scarpello.
Nice.
Jumping Joe Scarpello. And I'm like talking to myself. And I'm doing my stuff, And he gets in. Sorry, guys. So I'm late. Got this like Olympic type jacket on. He was an Olympic wrestler in Omaha, in Nebraska. There, he was I think he was an Olympic wrestler. Anyway,
he was legit.
Legit.
Yes.
Yeah, he was what we call a shooter. And anyway, which they all were back then. I was. Still am. Look out. Anyway, he gets in and he introduces himself. I'm Joe. You may know me as Joe Scarpello. One time I was called Jumpin' Joe Scarpello. And I said, I know that. And he goes, yeah. I said, yeah, you did the airplane spin, man. He says, oh, good, thank you. He's like, now Joe has changed a bit since the first time I saw him when I was 6 years old. And I carried his bag to the car and he told me I was going to be a professional wrestler. Now, back then, Joe looked like Andre the Giant to me.
Because you were so little.
Because I was so small. And he didn't quite have that stature at this point in his life. Joe was probably around 5'7", 5'6", I'm guessing. And the tan was gone. And he's in a kind of a sweatsuit, not quite the look I remember. And that white Cadillac with a nice big fence, he brought a taxi over, And so, but Virginia liked him, always loved his work as a wrestler. And I think they went to the Olympics together. That's where they met. And Vern was good at, helping guys out when they got in their, later years. And so he gave Jack and both Jack and Joe an opportunity to make some money. So we train all day. Finally, Joe says, one of my favorite moves is a fireman's carry. Any of you guys know how to do a fireman's carry? And I said, I do. And he said, well, Bill, come over here. Do it to him. And so, boom, I do a fireman's carry. And Jumpin' Joe says, hey, do that again. Boom, fireman's carry. Boom. Give him another fireman's carry. Joe looks at Jack. Shit's pretty good. Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying the kid. He's got a lot to learn yet. So anyway, we go through this whole thing. And every time now, when we have to lock up with somebody, instead of me taking Chris Taylor, who is like 500 pounds, and I'm like maybe 215, 220 at that time in my life. And he's the next biggest guy, or I'm the next biggest, where we had to pair off. And the other guys paired off close to their weights. And so now Jack has got somebody, and there's more people there trying out. And Joe grabs me. He said, you and I are going to be the two. Okay, great. All right, you guys, I want fireman's carry. So we lock up, in the amateur style. And Joe says, you don't have to wait to do it. Do it whenever you want or whenever it feels right. We lock up again, and it felt right to me. And boom, over went Joe. And I didn't know if I should continue. And Joe says, okay, all right. And so he rolled over and he said, that was one hell of a damn fireman's carry, Bob. that was my move. I made that famous. And you just did that to me. He said, wow. Hold it, guys. And then, so anyway, long story short.
Too late.
We go to leave.
What? No, it's not.
We go to leave, and Joe says, hey, I'm here, for the next 3 weeks, or 3.5 weeks till Bill and Vern get back. Do you have a place or a car? I said, well, I got a roofing truck. roofing truck. I said, yeah, I have another job I do before I come here. He said, oh. He said, you won't be happen to go by the VFW or VF, whatever it was. Yeah, VF, whatever. YMCA. What did I say? VFW. Anyway, YMCA. And I said, yeah, it's on my way. He said, oh, would you mind if I get a ride with you? I said, no, not a problem. So as we're driving, he says, nice fireman's carry you do. I said, oh, thank you. He said, are you going right home? I said, well, I was going to go work out. He said, work out? I said, yeah, I like to go do a little run, and then I get in the hot tub. I don't work with weights. I just want to get my muscles, thawed out a little bit, whatever. So he said, you mind if I go with you? I said, no, that's before we get to your place. I said, oh, great. So I'm in the hot tub, or whatever they call those whirlpools back then, and here he comes. Yeah, we're talking, and he goes, you got a damn good future in this business. I said, I do. He goes, yeah. Not only that fireman's carry, but your attitude. You're always trying to help the other guys. I watched you today. So thanks. He said, you should really stick to this as hard as you can because you've got a future. I said, well, it's funny. You told me that before. And he said, what? So I went back, told him about the trip to the airport and blah, blah, blah. Put this bag in it. And he stopped and he went, you're that little boy, Bob. Oh my God, I've thought about you every day ever since I met you. I have wondered if you ever became a professional wrestler because I really meant it when I said it to you. Here I am. He said, I'll be damned. I said, well, you inspired me.
So if it wasn't for Jumpin' Joe Scarpello telling you that you had some potential when you were a little boy, and my mom telling you the hell you are,
right,
you wouldn't be here.
Couple other things here and there. Couple other things.
Maybe some hard work.
Yeah.
But I'm like you in that way because when somebody tells me I can't do something, for example, I watched you on Jay's show last night, Zazel.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and you guys were talking about Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And yeah. I remember the boys in school telling me that those were boy shows.
Right.
And that I was not allowed to watch them. Well, guess what I did?
You watched them anyway.
I watched them anyway. And my favorite was Thundercats.
Yes, they're very good.
Thundercats. But yeah, and it was because the boys told me I couldn't watch it because it was the boys stuff. So I get that from you.
No.
So it's your fault I am the way I am.
I have to talk to your mother about this. I'm gonna take her aside and tell her.
She does say I'm just like you.
Yeah.
But then you say I'm just like her.
Yeah, you're just like her.
Yeah. So maybe
there you go.
Do alike.
Mix of both.
We were like this more. Well,
Careful, you're sitting right there.
You are sitting here, Dad, and I know how to throw an elbow.
There you go.
Oh.
Okay. I did teach her everything.
You gotta have some tricks up your sleeve.
I gotta have a couple of tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point.
I know, right? Somebody telling me I can't do something, I'm like, yeah, right. Stop me.
But you know what's been funny? I've told this story a few times about Joe and what happened on my way from Joe to meeting him again. Because I didn't quite finish it. I went off. I graduated. I was a professional wrestler, and I went off on my journey. In about 3.5 years, I had come back to Minnesota. I went out to Vancouver, Canada, went down to Portland, Oregon, and made my way back to Minnesota to go somewhere else. But we decided to go home for Christmas before I had to leave to go to Louisiana, I believe it was. And so the phone rings, and Diane says, it's Virginia. I said, oh, Virginia. Okay, he probably wants to know how things are going. Hey, Bob, how's it going? He was always very good at wondering how you're doing, and you keep going. Don't get
He was encouraging.
Very encouraging. And I said, so after the conversation, he goes, "Are you available tomorrow night to drive to Omaha, Nebraska, and wrestle? Somebody got sick and can't be there." I said, "Yeah, let me check." So I said, "Hey, Diane, okay if I go to to the poker game?" Oh shit. Well, yeah, I can be there. It's okay, Diane. Okay. So anyway, I drive to Omaha, Nebraska, and when I get there, I'm pretty early. So I go into the dressing room, and when you walk into a professional wrestler's dressing room, usually there's a list of who's wrestling who. And in our locker room, which I considered myself the hero, the good guy, baby face. So I went into that locker room. And so they have the same thing in another locker room where the other guys. So I'm sitting there, and finally here comes the promoter, Jack Dusick. And he goes, "Hey, I'm Jack Dusick," and Jack was a pretty good hand. And anyway, he said, "You're Bob Remus, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, you should be in the other locker room." I said, "Oh,
uh-oh,
really? Oh, what's wrong with my face? Come on, is it something I said?" So I go over to the other locker room. I'd never been in the bad guy's locker room. No, I happen to be. I'm just full. So I finally walk over, and I said, "Well, no, I know where I'm at and what I'm doing, because you never told anything." And I look, and I go down the main event. Mad Dog Sean, the Crusher, Bear Von Roschke, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I get down to opening contest: Bob Remus versus Jumping Joe Scarpello. And I went,
what?
I'm rubbing my eyes. And I went, this can't be. I can't wrestle. I can't wrestle Jumping Joe Scarpello. The guy, he was, but so I don't know what to do. So finally, a referee comes in after putting up the ring. I said, "I got to talk to the promoter." He said, "What do you need to know?" I said, I'm wrestling. So anyway, he said, no, it's got to be that way because that's the way they do it. So, geez. So more people come in. Referee's name is George Kanaski, and he was from Wisconsin. And he put the ring up and drove the truck and all that, and then he refereed so he could make a few extra bucks. And he was a retired wrestler, and he still kind of wrestled every once in a while too. And so he said, "Hey, Bob, yo, 12. Okay, George, okay." And so it's time, and we go into the ring. And so George checks me out, and checks Joe out, and Joe looks over at me and kind of smiles and gives me the wave, and gives me the shooting challenge, you know. And I shot the challenge back at him, you know. So anyway, we have this match, and we get down to, we're having a great amateur type style match with a little pro in it. And now it's getting down. Back then, they used to tell you, they count you down for the last 5 minutes of your match, so you can kind of tell where you're at. So you'd hear 4 to go, 4 minutes to go. And the referee will yell it in your ear in case you didn't hear it because of all the noise. And, hey, hear that, Bob? 4 to go, let's go. And so we get down to 3 minutes, 3 minutes to go, 3 to go. All right, Bob, you hear that? Three. Come on, let's go. Don't piss anybody off here. And so we get down 2 minutes to go, 2 to go. Come on, Bob, let's go. I know you're a rookie and all this kind of stuff, but you gotta. Ooh. And so I worked it out to where Joe was on top of me, and the referee went 1, 2, ding, 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 ding. Oh, Jesus. Damn, thank you, Bob. Oh, geez, my God. Holy, yeah, I thought I was going to get fired. And he's talking the storm up, and he said, and he looks over at me, he said, boy, you in trouble. You're in big trouble. You didn't get the message. What's the deal? Yeah, no, it's okay. And so he had to raise both our hands as a draw.
Nice.
And Joe's just kind of looking over at me and smiling, and how'd I go? And George is in my ear the whole way back. You're in trouble, Bob. You're in trouble. The promoter do think not gonna be happy, you know. So anyway, so I get back there, and what happened? Did you not hear? I said, yeah, I heard. I just couldn't get it, couldn't get it. And I'm sorry, Jesus. And so about an hour later, I'm just about ready to jump in my car and drive back to Minneapolis. In through the back of our locker room, I hear a door knock. So I push it open, and there's Jumping Joe standing there. And he puts his bag down, and he grabs my hand, and he said, thank you very much. That was a gentleman's match. I really enjoyed that match. But for what you did for me, he said, this is my hometown, and all of my family was there. I haven't wrestled in a while, and I figured about hanging it up. And, I said, Jesus, Joe, got any clinics? and so he gave me a hug. He said, I'll never forget you for that. And he turned around and left. And that was the last time I ever saw him. Mm. But a very wonderful farewell.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
You did a great thing for your childhood hero.
Yeah.
So when you put me in a Cobra Clutch, I'll sell it for you. What's that?
Not too many people like you and I get to do that. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I appreciate it every time we get to see you.
We need to start getting some people to send some donations, right?
Oh, well, thanks for the plug. Yeah. If anyone's interested, we do have a GoFundMe to get me to be tortured by Kelly. And so
I'm trying to make you earn it. Like I had to earn it.
Oh, he will pay for it. Don't I will make sure.
Yeah. I'll be feeling it by the end of it.
He will be like, why did I want to come to America?
Just remember these words when you think about backing out. the hell you are in
No,
Diane's voice. Just
yeah,
keep that.
yeah.
You know, maybe your wife could yell it at you one time. Just, I know she probably doesn't
She would
ever.
enjoy it, probably.
Yeah, I think if we record it, I think everyone is going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Earn my pain. Yep.
Yeah.
I hope that I do earn the right to be put into a cobra clutch by my childhood hero, Sergeant Slaughter.
Maybe
But,
more
yeah,
than once.
You might not let go.
What?
He's pulling at my hair. Can you believe this? What is he doing?
Oh goodness.
What can we do? Are we done, or can we do the other?
Well, I think we're gonna have to save the Diet
so,
Coke commercial. Every story is a long story, apparently. So I will just have to, from now on, I will keep it at one story per episode.
See why I can't write a book?
Well, look, we'll do some housekeeping first.
It'd have to be encyclopedias.
I do want to say, Kelly.
Yes.
Kelly has a merch store. Go and check it out. The merch store is in the about section of the channel, so you can definitely check that out. Pick yourself up a t-shirt. This is the place to be if you want to hear some family stories, some backstories. People keep saying they want a book. People keep saying they want an audio. You've got audio and visual right here. This is the place to be if you want to hear this stuff. It's the book's not going to happen, guys. But this is the best alternative. We're going to continue to have these amazing stories. I believe the next one will now be the Coca-Cola commercial. Yeah. When Kelly said that there was going to be 2 stories, I was like, I don't think there is.
Well, I didn't know it was going to be that long of a story.
We need a Sarge Rainbow.
Probably could have been cut out a little, like the whole middle of it.
You want? Are you trying to tell me you want more airtime? She's trying to negotiate. That's what you're doing.
The whole reason why I started this channel was because I'm not going to say you refused to write a book, but you have not written a book, and we have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to get you. Your family has tried to get you to do it. Other people out there have tried to get you to do it, and you just haven't done it. So I said, you know what?
You know why? Because
it would be this big.
Who's got time?
Yeah.
The encyclopedia of Sarge.
You should go down and get those 2 little things.
I will. I will get them in the break between switching. Yes. So thank you, everyone, for being here. If you've stuck around, do appreciate that very much. Zazel has dropped in the thank you, Jumpin' Joe Scarpello.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Great stories.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Wait a minute. I've the only one left of all the Bill Crouch.
Yes. Okay. Bill Crouch is still with us. So Zazel has dropped the link to hop over to his channel. We will meet you over there in just a few seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably have to have a toilet break after that long story. Always happy to do so. If you're new here, hit the like button, subscribe as well. Don't forget, there's merch. Pick it up.
Yes.
Make sure you come back. Come back and don't make me come looking for you.
Yeah. Give us 5 or so minutes and we'll be over at Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse talking about some G.I. Joe.
Follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, Slaughter Daughter Official, to find out about my upcoming race and all the training that I've been doing. And I'm going to crush that mother effer next time.
All right. And now you know.
Slaughter Daughter's a badass bitch.